So hello everyone, welcome to my new video. And in this video, we'll be learning to solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube with the layer by layer method. So there are 4 steps, and that is the first layer, second layer, third layer and fourth layer. It has a few sub-steps. The first layer, it has 3 sub-steps. One is making the centers, other is making the edges, and third is complete the last sub-step, which is pairing the corners. The second step has 2 substeps. One is center and another is edges. The third step also is the same. The centers and the edges. And the final layer has 2 substeps. One is OLL and PLL. So let's start by scrambling the cube. So now let's start solving. I'll give you an overview before we start. First, let's make the centers. So the centers is ready. Now we are making the edges. Now after making the edges, we have to do the corners, insert the corners. So the next step is making the centers. So the red center is already made, we have to make the blue center. After making the centers, we have to insert the edges. You should know how to insert the edges if you know the beginner's method for 3x3. So the third step is making the centers. After you complete the third step, all the centers will be ready, and then only the edges will be left, edges and corners. Now we are completing the third step by making the edges. Now we are in our last step, in which we have to pair the edges. Then OLL and PL. But there are a few other cases, which is called as parity. There is one OLL parity. For this, there is a separate algorithm. And there is a PLL parity where 2 edges have to be swapped. So now let's start learning to solve the 4x4 with layer by layer method. So now I'll explain to you. So now that I've scrambled the cube, so first thing you have to do is make a half center like this. So we have made one half center, we need to make another one by pairing 2 centerpieces like these two. Make sure it is not on the opposite sides and it's on the same side, and pair it. After pairing it, join the 2 half centers. After joining the half centers, the next thing you have to do is pairing the edges. The edge pairing is very simple. You have to take 2 edges of the same type, like orange white and orange white. Keep it on the opposite sides. Orange should be facing the white, and then join it together with a slice move, and then insert it. Do the same with all the other pieces. Make sure you put it according to the color wise. the blue should be to the left of the red and orange should be opposite to red. If you remember this, then you will be easily able to make the edges. After making the cross, the next sub-step is to put the corners in place. See the corner? Insert it. You should know to insert the corner if you know to solve the 3x3 with layer by layer method. After doing it, you have to make another bar like this. So to do that, you have to take one layer like this, turn it, do U2, and then you have to make more bars. Next, we'll start with green. For green, we have to make sure that this is at the back, and we have to only do slice moves. If we do the U move or the F move, then it may scramble the cube. So to pair it up, use the slice moves. After pairing it up, then bring it up like this and then insert it back. So we are done with that. For blue, when there's a case like this where you have to bring this bar or the semi-center to the bottom, bring this up, then to the back, bring this up, bring this back to the front and insert. Now we have to do only orange. For this one, take it to the back, make the semi-center, attach it, send it back. Now our next step is to make the edges. So to attach the edges, you should know the layer by layer method for 3x3. It's very easy. If you don't know, the algorithm is shown over here. So the first thing is you have to figure out a piece. Like here, we have the green and orange piece. You have to keep it in such a way that the piece which is matching should be kept with the color, and it should be near to the place where you are inserting. Like this piece is near to the place we have to insert it, and do this algorithm. Do the same. So now here's another case where you have to insert the piece to the left. For that case, you have to arrange it like this and use this algorithm. Then our second step is complete. For the third step, you have to make the centers. And in this step, we'll be completing all the centers. So the first thing we have to do is, we have to learn two algorithms for this layer. First thing is to put the centers in the proper place, and the algorithm is shown over here. The first thing you have to do is put the pieces on top of the place where you have to insert it, and then do this algorithm. Repeat the same. Keep it on the top. Do the algorithm. After making all the centers, the next step is to make the edges. For that, we have to see over here the orange and blue center should be inserted over here. Orange are matching, and put this algorithm shown over here. Move it away. and then this is a last edge. Then after that, here you have to learn a new algorithm. So the algorithm is for swapping two edges, like for swapping these two edges. For swapping, you have to keep the edges opposite to each other. Like the yellow-red and the yellow-red edges are opposite to each other, and this one is flipped and this one is not. So you have to keep it in this way. One should be flipped and one should not be flipped. So, and put this algorithm shown over here. So we have made it. Do the same. But for this case, we can do these two. For that, do the algorithm to flip the edges and then do the same again. Now that we have made the edges, this is a special case where one edge is flipped. This is called as OLL parity. Follow the algorithm shown over here. So now our final step is the PLL, permuting last name. So for this, put the PLL algorithm. And then here we have another parity, which is called a PLL parity, in which two edges only have to be switched. So for this, put this algorithm. And then you can put a U-perm. There's also another case where the opposite edges have to be swapped. You have to put the same algorithm. But when there are opposite edges which have to be swapped, you don't need to do a U-perm. So hope you all enjoyed and understood. Thank you and have a great day. So hello everyone, today we'll learn the LBL method for the 4x4 Rubik's Cube. There are a few steps to solve. First step is the first layer, second is the second layer, third step is the third layer, and the fourth step has two sub-steps, which is OLL and PLL. So let's scramble the cube.